Is that good?
Yeah, it's perfect.
Okay.
Oh, it's cute. I like that it does that. That's awesome.
Yeah, I really like. Oh. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining today. I'm Natalie Ferreira with Infusionsoft. And joining me today is
Natalie Frank from Honeybook. So it's the Natalie and Natalie show today.
Exactly. Thank you for tuning into the Natalie show. So we have a great show for you today. We're going to talk about how to effectively communicate your brand using social media. And who better to join me for that than Natalie? Because she has built her own social media, I guess. What's the Rising Tide Society? Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, absolutely. So I have leveraged social media to do a lot of things as a small business owner and an entrepreneur on my personal brand side in supporting our community, Rising Tide Society. I am the movement maker behind the Community Over Competition hashtag. So I've helped to use that to spread a message and grow a community. And then also I work for an amazing tech startup called Honeybook, and we help small business owners through a CRM tool. Big fans of Infusionsoft, and we love the platform. So in all those instances, we've had to leverage social media to communicate three very distinct brands. And I'm really excited to share anything that I can to help you in your business.
Thank you for that. And so she's amazing. She's got 60,000 followers of her own on Instagram. Do you use Instagram, Twitter, social media, Facebook in general?
I use nearly everything. I think the only platform I'm really not leveraging at the moment is Snapchat, because Instagram Stories has sort of replaced that for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I use Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, primarily Pinterest as well to drive traffic to higher converting channels like my blog and other types of downloadable content. But yeah, I'm in any place that I can be where I can reach my target audience.
Cool. So what would you say is the most effective for a small business? Like what platform?
I think the biggest thing here is to identify where your audience is spending their time. So depending on who your customers are, depending on who you're actually trying to sell to, that answer may differ. I'm in the creative space, and I target millennial women primarily in what we do in each of the three brands that I work with. And so Instagram has been a huge catalyst for us in our brand. And then Pinterest as well has been a great driver for traffic. But we also see a ton of conversion just from Facebook and leveraging Facebook's platform both organically and through paid channels. And so it really depends. But I think the key is finding where your audience is spending their time.
Exactly. So you want to make sure you know where your audience is so you can cater to them wherever they are. All right. So we want to hear a little bit about you. If you can share with us in the comments, where's your audience? Where do they hang out? And what is your favorite social media platform of choice? Other than that, we want to get right to the blog, which we're going to bring you in a vlog form. It's 3 tips. We have 3 tips for you today. We're going to cut them down. 3, 2, 1. How to effectively communicate your brand using social media. And social media, it's really the world. I mean, you guys are watching us right now on YouTube. So your audience is also on social media, and you want to be there. You want to make sure you cater to them. So moving on to the first or third tip is you need to access every area of social media. Like every area. Like not just platforms, but comments, likes, reviews, messages. I mean, that's so important, right? Not just to have somebody like your page or like your post, but also engage with your audience. Because your audience is basically your voice to the world. I mean, social media is literally everywhere. One comment can damage your reputation. You need to know how to battle that. Do you have any tips for that?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think the biggest thing is that when we look at social media, brands tend to look at it like a megaphone, a place where they can shout to the world what they're doing and what they're working on. And I think we live in sort of this attention economy. We're competing not only against our standard competitors, but we're competing for the attention of our audience, which means if we can find ways not just to share about our brand message, but to actually engage them in conversation, we're far, far, far ahead of the rest of sort of the group. So what I would recommend is, just like Natalie mentioned, direct message folders, especially on Instagram. Make sure that you're responding. If you have a social media manager for your company, or if you're a solopreneur like I've been in different stages of my career as well, you need to make sure that you're actually putting a face behind the comments. If you can, on Instagram direct message, a little hack that I've discovered to increase engagement and affinity is to respond with a video. So one thing that I'll do if I get a DM and someone asks me a question about my brand, about content, about initiatives that we're working on for Honeybook or Rising Tide, I will actually hop on with a video and respond via video DM and speak to them directly. And the level of response to those messages, it's unbelievable. They panic, they freak out. They're like, I can't believe you just sent me a video. And they feel so much more loyal to the brand. And qualitatively, I just started doing this, so I don't have quantitative metrics for you, but qualitatively, I have seen those individuals then returning to actually comment more on our posts, being more engaged in our content. And I believe we're moving them up a curve of although that's awesome if you can find strategic ways to do it, it's about creating a conversation with your customers.
Yes. And that way you'll build brand loyalty. They'll love you, especially if there's a it's just great customer service in general as well. But yeah, it'll build brand loyalty. It'll give them value. And then eventually, if they're not customers, they'll become customers because of that. Another tip of accessing all areas of social media is leveraging influencers. So we want to we have more influencer tips, but stay tuned for tip number 1, which is all about that. We'll talk about macro and micro. But yeah, influencers, knowing who the right influencers are, whether they're people who have thousands or hundreds of thousands of followers to people who don't have as many. So we'll talk about that later on. But Natalie, how do you leverage influencers at Honeybook?
Yeah, so we're really, really fortunate that our members are really passionate about the platform that we've created. And so when we have members step forward that primarily are influencers through the education space, what I mean by that is we have a lot of creative entrepreneurs who are also teaching other creatives. They're coaches or they host workshops and things like that. One of the things that we've done is ultimately we've created avenues for them to share about our brand, both organically and through like affiliate referral programs. So on the organic side, we do our best to provide people with templates and sort of like swipe copy and just general things, pieces of content they want to repost and share. And then on the referral side, we have an amazing referral program, both for standard members and for educators and influencers, that allows them to create passive revenue streams in their business. And ultimately, we have so many members that they pay for the platform, but they actually end up making money. It's a side business, right? It's because they're incentivized through the passive revenue. Awesome. So that's primarily how we've done it. We've also done campaigns specifically with individual influencers. And I think you hit the nail on the head. It's really about just finding people that align with your target audience and not stressing out so much, I think, about that big follower number, because that's what we tend to do, don't we? We look and we say, this person has 1 million followers. I need them to share about my business. But no one really takes the time to dive in and discover, well, is that person actually, targeting the same people that you are? Exactly. What is their engagement like on their actual posts and content? How loyal are their followers? Because it's not just enough to say that somebody has a following. You really have to dig a little bit deeper.
Yes, and sometimes those influencers that have less followers have the highest engagement, and that's what you want when you want to partner with them. So how do you guys leverage influencers? We want to hear about you in the comments, and we will comment back. How do you leverage influencers? Have you ever worked with influencers? Have you thought about utilizing influencers? We want to hear from you. Number 2. Get down to earth and become a grassroots brand. Now, you were talking a little bit about this. What can you share about becoming a grassroots brand?
Yeah, so I kind of look at this in 2 ways. I think the first way to look at this is about the idea of getting down to earth and specifically connecting with your audience, your customers on a really personal level as much as you can. I often say that we as consumers have a difficult time attaching ourselves to just a logo, right? But we can attach ourselves to something greater than that, whether that is a set of ideals or values, whether that is a mission statement, or in the case of many small business owners, a face, an actual person behind the brand. So the first step I'd say really is identifying who your brand is, not just what it is or what it stands for, but who it is, whether it's you or social media managers, someone that can act as the voice and the face, and then actually leverage that to connect personally with your audience. On the flip side, I also think part of this tip here is finding ways to mobilize your community, finding ways to actually give them tools so they can evangelize for your company and your brand. Specific example, at Honeybook, I think actually last week on a Monday, we wanted to run an Instagram campaign. So we said, okay, let's ask our community that loves us if they'd want to share about Honeybook and how it helps them in their life and their business. This was ideated on a Monday. I want to show you how easy this is. ideated on a Monday. We sent an email, I believe, on a Wednesday, ran the campaign, and within just 48 hours, completely organic, no paid, sort of input to the campaign. We had almost 300 members on their channels sharing about how they use our product and why they love it. So it was amazing to see sort of that transition from just us, trying to post a question in an Instagram post and calling that like engagement and mobilization, right? Versus actually, hey, if you guys want to share about our brand, here's how you can do it on your Instagram stories, and seeing hundreds of people do it as a response. For us, that was a huge win and enabled us to identify members in our community that are really loyal and are really engaged that we can nurture in the future.
Cool. That is like organic is where you want to be. And that seems like a high number for just ideating it on a Monday and launching on Wednesday, you said? Yeah, that's awesome. So we at Infusionsoft, if you follow our Instagram account, it's all about people. It's all about customers. It's about our employees. It's about our mission, our values, because we want to make sure that our customers and the people who might run into across our page, they know who we are as a company. We're not just here to sell. Use Infusionsoft because it'll help your business, but this is why you should trust us, because we are people focused and want to put you at the forefront of everything, really. So you want to make sure that you're doing that with your employees. An easy way to do that is take out your phone on any given moment and give your customers or your employees a spotlight. Go on Facebook, make a video, ask a customer, hey, what do you do? Would you mind giving us a testimonial right here, right now? And so that's something you can do. It's really easy. It costs nothing. And if you do actually want to boost it on Facebook, you can boost it for $1 a day. For 7 days, and that'll go far. And target it and make custom audiences. There's so much you can do. And we do have blogs about that. So I'll put a link on the description below. But the number one tip I want to give you is put your product into the right hands. We were talking about this earlier about, influencers and how to utilize influencers. Well, think about influencers as who their audience is. They have to be your audience. So I'm not going to give, for example, if I have an ice cream shop that's like all dairy, I'm not going to give it to somebody who's vegan. Right? I'm not going to do that. Or somebody who loves cats. I'm a dog. You know what I mean? Like It's all about their audience being your audience and translating to your audience. So let's talk a little bit about this, Nat. Spotlight's on you.
Oh my gosh. Well, when it comes to working with influencers, I think both of us actually have a really unique perspective. We've both actually been influencers in one capacity or another. And even now I work with a variety of different brands, from Athleta to Travel Bank to Delsey Luggage. And so on my personal brand side, I've been the influencer. On the flip side, when it comes to Honeybook and Rising Tide, I've worked with the influencers. So I've seen both sides of the equation. And I think that there are just some really, really great high-level tips that you should always take into account when working with influencers. The first is that as authentic as possible that you can make the relationship or you can make the campaign, the more it will translate, ultimately to conversion and to sales. Meaning, if you work with an influencer and they don't authentically feel like they can share about your product or share about your service, and they can't have control or creative freedom in how they communicate that to their audience, not only will it actually harm sort of potentially that relationship, but it won't translate as well to their brand. So a great example, Athleta did a campaign with influencers earlier this year where they not only worked directly with different fashion, lifestyle, business influencers, but they actually sponsored them to go to workout classes and try something brand new that they had never tried and share about the experience. They obviously were wearing Athleta apparel, but it was about the activity of doing something exciting and new. So it was authentic. It aligned with their values. They worked with a variety of influencers obviously that represented the beauty and diversity of all women that are working out and getting in shape. And they're very body positive as a brand too. So you saw that reflected in the influencers they worked with. So the authenticity was there. I think also, loud San Francisco traffic. I think also, honestly, it boils down to that influencer's connection to their audience. Does their audience trust them? Does their audience engage with them? what does that engagement look like? It's not just about that big vanity metric, that 500,000 followers. I would rather work with, on the brand side, an influencer that had 1,000 followers but had great engagement and a very, very loyal following than somebody with 1 million who has bot comments, spam comments, right? Just like 3 emojis, love it, like it. Like there's no depth to that. There's no real relationship between that account and the audience versus someone that maybe has a smaller following but is really responsive to their community, is cultivating something that is generated and based in trust, right? And then I found more success there. So those are two. Authenticity, I would say. I don't want to ramble forever, but authenticity, and then also on the flip side, just monitoring engagement and choosing people wisely.
Yeah, so as a business owner also, you can grab your Instagram, search for micro influencers in your area. For example, if you're in Austin, Austin influencers or hashtag micro influencers Austin or something like that, to try to find influencers in your area and then slide into their DMs and ask them if they want to work with you. Check first their engagement. Check if their target audience is your target audience, and then connect with them because they're going to bring local people in. They're going to get the party started locally. So that's what you want. Anyway, I think that's time that we have for this live show. Thank you so much for tuning in. And please ask us any questions in the comments. In the comments. Thank you. This is Natalie.
And Natalie, thank you guys.
Thanks for watching.